What's up? It's SureWinz MMA. We're joined by Eduardo Penha, undefeated at 7-0, getting ready for his test on February 20th at Fury FC. Eduardo, appreciate you for taking the time. How are you feeling heading into this fight camp?
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate you having me here. Feel good. I feel ready. Feel 100%, which is sometimes a rarity in these camps, but I really feel 100%. Like I feel like uh, he's getting my best, and I hope he's coming with his best.
Okay. How has this camp, felt compared to your previous ones?
Man, my previous like four camps, I've only gotten the name. They've all been pretty short notice, like maybe like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Mhm.
So this one's been nice, having quite a bit of time to prepare for a specific opponent and game plan. Versus the last one's kind of just been like, we're going with what we got because it's been so short notice.
Okay. Sounds good. So it's kind of like just giving you more opportunity to actually like study the opponent and just kind of see what the strengths are and kind of like all that.
Yeah, exactly. To come up with a good strategy, to come out with a real like going out party, like to
Okay.
show out, to come out with a good strategies to be able to implement things versus just kind of going with what you got and just being in good shape. It's been nice to and it's also nice to it's more motivating to have a name on a paper and have somebody signed already versus sometimes I was training and hoping to fight on that day on that card and they couldn't find me somebody and that gets frustrating at times
Right.
versus this one we had a name from the jump and we knew he was a tough dude and that he's going to show up. So that's been nice to consistently have that waking up and having that motivation, having a fight booked and a fight signed against a guy with a really good reputation.
Right, correct. Yeah, and that's kind of like my next question, right? Given that, your opponent, he previously was with the UFC, having six fights under promotion and, having another three on the Ultimate Fighter. Do you feel like going into this, it's going to be like one of your biggest tests so far in your career? Or how do you feel going into it against somebody, having previous UFC experience?
Yeah, for sure. He'll be the guy with the most experience I fought, the guy with the most uh with the best curriculum, I guess you could say, like the best not accolade, sorry. That I fought being all Ultimate Fighter and all that, and having a good run in the UFC, fighting the former champ and all that. But at the end of the day, we believe in ourselves and we feel real confident, just as confident as we felt in the past.
Okay, that's nice. You speaking, to you being undefeated, you're currently 7-0. How do you balance, being aggressive without kind of overthinking your record?
Man, I don't really think about the record too much. Of course, I don't want to lose ever, but
Right.
I o- that's my style is I'm looking for the finish. I'm looking to get out of there. I'm looking to take my opponent out, and I think that's I look at that, and that's giving me more confidence in my more so like that's where my record comes from, not vice versa, if that makes sense. Like my record doesn't give my style any pressure. My style makes my record. If that kind of makes sense, like and I'm staying true to my style. It's something that my coaches put it like kind of instilled in me from the jump that we look for the finish. We look for to hunt every time.
Okay. And being this is gonna be your debut on Fury FC, is this gonna be like a kind of like a promotion? Are you gonna get like a couple fights under them, or is this gonna be like kind of just like a one fight with Fury and then go to like a different promotion and stuff like that?
I got four fights with Fury, so after this one, I'll have three more. I signed a four-fight
Okay.
deal. So I perfect world. Somebody pulls out in Houston the day after Fury, and I get to just be in the UFC. But I'm thankful for Fury. I'm really excited to fight for them. Yeah, they're the number one promotion out there right now. I feel like they're putting the most guys in the UFC. They're putting the most consistent talent and good talent in there. So I'm really excited to be with them.
Okay. And on February 20th, what does a statement win sound to you? Or like how does it look to you making a statement on February 20th?
If it goes just like any of my last fights, if I go out there, I show out and I finish him, whether that be the first, second, or third. I go out there and I consistently look for the finish, he's a tough guy, so it might not come right away like it has in the past, and that's something we're prepared for. But at the end of the day, we do not want to go to decision. That's a statement that I want to make is getting the finish at whatever cost, at any round, at any time, at any discipline, whether it's standing on the feet, on the ground, whatever. That's a statement to me is getting him out of there.
Okay. And another question, there's obviously other undefeated prospects out there and stuff like that, but what separates you specifically from others, asking for that UFC call and, telling the UFC, I deserve to be the next one up?
I think my record speaks for itself. You see in my record, I've never been ducking anybody. I move up a weight class. I meet people in between. I go down. I fight at my weight class. My record isn't padded. Like you see a lot of these guys, it's easy to bark when you're in a protected fence, you know?
Right.
When you're caged in, it's easy to bark. You seen like that meme where like the cage is separated into two dogs and they're both barking, and as soon as
Oh,
the
yeah, and
cage
as soon as it
and
opens, it's
then
just like,
they're like, oh no, not me, not me, not me. You know, that's how I
right.
feel. Like it's easy to bark and to threaten people and whatever when you're on the safe side of the fence. But you see me, I fought for LFA, went 3-0 in LFA. I fought for Tough Enough, went 4-0 in Tough Enough. Now I'm fighting Fury. I'm always looking for tough challenges, and I'm not hiding, I'm not ducking. I'm calling my shots, and it's so far as I called, it's happened, you know. And I think that's what's make the difference. I'm talking the talk and I'm walking the walk, and at the end of the day, you look at my record. I'm not being protected. I'm not being politicked. You know, like these guys are hiding behind promoters and hiding behind their records, and uh, the, talk is cheap. They're doing a lot of talking, not a lot of biting.
Okay. I like that. You know, compared to you getting prepared for your fights, once it's fight day and stuff like that, is there like something specific, that you do to kind of help you set or kind of help you like, focus and be in there? Or do you feel kind of like once it's fight week, you're already kind of dialed in and focused on what the goal is?
You talking about like some type of like maybe ritual or like a
Yeah, like
superstition or
yeah, like is
okay.
there something like that you feel like, kind of like, oh, like I need to kind of eat this or, do this, like anything
Oh,
like that?
in terms of like, I follow my diet. I follow like, I have a nutritionist and I follow that to the T. So that's something I do. But in terms of superstition, ritual, like lucky sock, or I got to do 10 hops before I go out there, or this or that.
Right.
Nah, I don't. You know, in I got rid of superstitions a long, long time ago when I was competing in wrestling, when I was competing in jiu-jitsu. It's too often to have two superstitions. You know, you compete too much. Um, yeah, I don't have any superstition. In the past, when I was a little kid, I had some like, oh, I gotta wear this, or when I go there, I gotta be that, you know. But now, um, I'm not hiding behind any superstition. You know, like my power, my belief comes from my training, not from a ritual or some lucky underwear.
Okay, I like that. Do you feel like, I know, your father plays, he's kind of like a big name in the MMA world, and, in the jiu-jitsu world and all that. Do you think, kind of being around him and, being around kind of like the higher, would you say like the higher events or whatever, kind of having more of an audience, do you think that kind of has prepared you for kind of days like this or, situations like this, like when you're out there getting ready to perform in front of a audience and crowd?
For sure. Like I think in the beginning when I was a kid, I'd feel a lot of pressure when you're whatever 6, 7, 10, 11 years old, and there's way more people in your mat than there is in the other 5-year-olds or 10-year-olds, whatever, just because my dad was a bigger name and whatnot. And in the beginning that would affect me a little bit. That you don't know how to handle certain things when you're a kid, but as time went on, I think it only made me stronger. When I was a kid, just because I was my dad's son, I couldn't enter in whatever age bracket I was, whatever belt I was. I had to enter the tournament owner or whatever. I had to enter in the most expert division or the most whatever division. Even though I started just like every other kid started, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, but I had to go and fight expert, and I had to go and fight this, and I had to go and do that. And just with the crowd itself around, at first I didn't really understand the pressure. I didn't really understand how to deal with it. But yeah, now I see pressure as a privilege. I don't really believe too much in pressure. I'm blessed and I'm privileged to feel what I feel and to have experienced what I experienced. You know, pressure, in my opinion, is the mom or the dad that's got to work three jobs to put food on the table. That's pressure.
Right.
You know, to what I do here is a privilege, and I'm blessed to feel the nerves and I feel, but no pressure here.
Did you going into, as well, like you were obviously into like doing jujitsu and like, mixed martial arts all your life. Did you kind of go into it like growing up as like kind of knowing like, okay, this is something I want to do as, as my job and take up as like a career? Or were you kind of like stuck in between picking if you wanted to do like something else or stick with MMA or mixed martial arts, sorry.
When I was a kid, it's funny because even during the pandemic, you know, we were all kind of locked up, and we started going through like stuff at the house, and we found like old like little cards of like kindergarten, first grade, second grade, all that, and in those little cards, I'd write down like, oh, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I was like, oh, I want to be in the UFC, I want to be a professional fighter. But even though I wrote that, I lived a very normal childhood. You know, I played soccer, I did jujitsu. Some years I didn't do jujitsu. I just went out there and just hung out with my friends and did no sports. And then my dad never really put too much uh pressure and didn't make us do anything, you know. So I wrote it down, but at the same time, I lived a normal kid childhood, you know. I wasn't kind of one of these kids that you see nowadays that like they're 10 years old with a nutritionist and they're vlogging. I go to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning. I go to the gym at 10 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I run with I didn't do any of that. I ate candy and I hung out with my friends. And when I felt like going to the gym, I went to the gym, you know. And I think that's what made it fun for me, and maybe that's why I'm still here today because I didn't get burnt out.
Okay. So your dad kind of let you be a kid and let you do your own thing and
For
stuff like
sure, yeah.
that.
I have an older brother and a an older sister, and they didn't take the path I chose. You know, they decided to take their career elsewhere, and just because he never really forced us. I think the only thing he forced us, not forced, but the only thing he kind of made it important was that we can defend ourselves. You know, that we can defend the people we love, and you can do that as a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. You're kind of set for that. You know, so.
Right.
Past that, he never really forced us to compete, he never forced us to do anything we didn't want to do. Like he really allowed us to live our life.
Okay. You know, a lot of the matchups recently have been happening, on short notice call-ups and stuff like that for the UFC and all that, Per se, like how you said, you get your statement win on Friday, Fury FC on February 20th, right? And UFC is the same day in Houston on the 21st. Per se you receive the call up, is there like a specific weight class or a type of matchup that you'd kind of instantly accept when you're in the UFC, or it doesn't really matter? Like if there's any need for a replacement, you're there.
Yeah, no, I'm not in no position to pick and choose. You know, the only position I'm in is to accept. So if they throw a name on the table for me, we're jumping on it, and we're consistently putting our name in the hat, just kind of waiting for it to get picked. Sometimes so you need a little bit of luck in life as well. You know, so well, hopefully one of these weekends will be my lucky weekend.
Right, hopefully soon. I mean, assuming with the name that you carry and everything like that, and kind of your undefeated record, I'm sure. I mean, the call is kind of a couple fights away if it's not the next one.
I hope, man. I hope, I can only hope. That's really all I can do. Like, I'm kind of letting go, you know, before I could kind of hold on to it, and I'd kind of, it would, like, I'd kind of, I don't know, like, kind of hold on to that little, like, man, it's got to be now, it's got to be now. But
Just
at
letting.
the, yeah, I gotta let it go, you know, like, I'm gonna fight for Fury, and if UFC doesn't call, I'm gonna fight for Fury again, and if UFC doesn't call, I'm gonna fight for Fury again, and if the UFC calls, I'm gonna fight for the UFC, you know, regardless, my next move is I'm gonna have a fight, whether that's here, there, or wherever, that's my next move, you know, it's independent of where I'm fighting, what canvas I'm fighting on, I'm gonna be fighting again, so
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, and like how you said, I mean, you staying consistently active and taking all these fights and everything like that. I feel like that's for sure a need for a call. I mean, there's gonna be only a matter of time where they could keep looking for others or kind of ignoring you. There's gonna be a certain time where I mean, it has to be your time. So I mean,
for
just like how you
sure.
said, I mean, just letting it go, having that faith, and just being patient and just doing your thing. I mean, all in all, in good time, it'll fall in place.
Yeah, for sure. You know, the world's not fair, but we're gonna try our best to be undeniable.
Right, correct. And I mean, so far that's you've been undeniable. So hopefully
Appreciate
that's
that,
how
man.
you continue. And I mean, just keep being hungry, bro.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that.
You know, if Dana White, Sean Shelby, or anybody associated with the UFC is watching this right now, do you want to say anything or let them know anything about you?
Um, Tune in February 20th, and I think you'll get to know everything you got to know. I think you'll find out everything you want to find out. Hopefully they give me a microphone after my interview, and I get to hopefully they'll be there, and I get to introduce myself to them. But yeah, if they're watching and need more, I mean, need more confidence, need more reassurance to sign me, watch me February 20th, and it won't disappoint. It's a it's a it's a one way run over. That's what I'm hoping for.
Okay. Leading up so far to your career, have you has there been anybody or anything specific that you feel has played like a huge impact in your career?
Um, Man, yeah, there's so much, you know, my coaches, my family, my wife, everybody plays a huge role that plays a huge impact, you know. It truly takes a village in this sport, you know, and it's not very rewarding till it rewards. So, you, your question was like in terms of somebody specifically, or like um a uh a moment that happened.
Uh, Kind of just however you feel, if there's like a specific moment that you feel impacted your career, or if it was like, anybody that you've met going along your career that you feel has impacted it more, kind of just
Yeah, I mean, in terms of nobody's impacted it more. I think everybody's played such a huge role, you know, in terms of supporting in different ways. I really have an insane support system from friends to family to everybody, you know. In terms of moment that really impacted my career, I think that the biggest moment was when I was in college and I made a shitty decision to go to a different school.
Mhm.
And I got and then I had to kind of deal with that. You know, I think that's what that made me grow up a lot. That made me understand things a lot. That the world's not fair. And I think that's the if there's a moment that played a huge impact was that moment when I had to transfer from one school to the school that I ended up at Colorado Mesa, which was where I had my last couple wrestling matches and you know found out that the world's not fair and people will go out there to put you down. You know, people will be selfish and harmful to other people. You know, that was a big learning curve, you know, to become looking at things from like a young kid perspective to like a young adult perspective.
Okay. All right, for sure. I mean, I think that's pretty much all the questions I have for right now. Uh, that's Eduardo Penha for you guys. He's undefeated, 7-0, back in the cage February 20th at Fury FC in Houston, Texas. This is SureWinz. Be sure to tune in and check him out because he's an exciting prospect to be checking out for this year in 2026, and I'm sure his UFC call is going to be coming soon. Anything you want to say or anything, Eduardo?
No, I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate you giving me your time. Thank you. Can't wait. February 20th. Tune in.